today and a goal and an assist in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Couldn't have asked for much more.
No. If you talk about a goal and assist, the first player you think about is probably not a fullback. So if he can then add that to a game where we, till 91 minutes, again did not concede a chance, and he's of course part of defending, so that's the first job of a fullback, then it's really positive. But the first goal he scored is not a big chance. It's a 20-yard shot, which we had a lot of 3 days ago. And now this one goes in after Cody and Mo did a good job during in that lead up to that goal. And the second goal follows straight away after, again, Cody having a good role in that attack, dropping low as a 9, switching it to Rio. And great overlap by Robbo and Mo. He's hardly ever offside. That is probably one of the most special things. He has a lot of special things, but that's definitely one of them. So when Leisman raised his flag, I was straight away questioning him, and that seemed to be fair because he wasn't offside. So then we're 2-0 up, and then it opens up the game much more than 3 days ago. For the rest, I think it was an identical game.
And on that, I mean, there's been a lack of goals recently. To have 2 consecutive games, and how pleased are you with that? What did you think of his performance?
No, it's always pleasing if attackers, if we score, but I think it's also important for attackers to score, because if they don't score over a long time, they are maybe starting to force it or going to do different things. So the more they score, the less they are going to force it, and that's why it's important for our attackers either to score or be part of the lead up to a goal. Like I just said, Cody was twice. Played a very good role in the first 2 goals we scored.
Was it kind of a perfect response to the other night from your team, but also good for next week as well in terms of players available, Bert's back, and the players that he rotated?
No, of course, it's a perfect response when you look at the result, but every stat is exactly identical than 3 days ago. I think they were on 0.44 XG, and they scored tonight. Their only chance they had, they scored 1. The positive thing is 3 days ago they only had 1 chance and scored twice. We struggled to create a lot of chances from a lot of ball possession we had in the first 50 minutes, but after scoring not a big chance, the shot of Robbo is not a big chance. Things open up a bit more for us. Again, we conceded in extra time, so that's similar. So there was not so much difference, because in the first 50 minutes we were maybe a bit faster, going from side to side. That had also to do with the personnel, with the different type of players that were in certain positions. But overall, there were a lot of similarities between this game and 3 days ago. A lot of ball possession. But then, to your last part of the question, I'm really happy that a few players have come back, because I don't think I've ever complained about player availability. But if you have to play with 12, 13, 14 players every 3 days, then I don't think it does make sense that maybe once in a while an individual performance is not at the level where we're used to of him, because they have to play so many games. That's why I respect them so much. Every 3 days the same players had to play. And now I can also impact the game more off the bench, as you saw today as well. Players who came in did really well. And the ones that I started that maybe not are always playing did really well also. So good thing that happens now towards the end of the season.
Arne, you just preempted my next question, which I hope you don't mind me saying, there were so many similarities between the first half today and Tuesday's game. Was that something that you had to address at half-time with your players? Was that a concern to you?
No, because we were penetrating more in their 18-yard box and coming closer to their goal than we did in the first half last week. So I did saw the things we were talking about before the games, which we had to do better. That's also what we did better, but that also comes from different personnel on different position. So one simple example is Dominic Soboslai has a better diagonal over 80 yards than Jeremy Frimpong has. Jeremy Frimpong has other qualities. and Dom used that once or twice during this game. So and apart from that, I think we knew even better how we had to play than we knew 3 days ago, because we played them 3 days ago. So then game plans are usually easier to create, and the execution of that was better than 3 days ago. Still, it wasn't as if we were 5 times in front of the goalkeeper on a 1v1. That wasn't the situation, but that's also really difficult against 11 players in and around the box.
Tom?
I appreciate you may not have had time to talk to him, but is McAllister okay to be sworn?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And I've just got going to ask about Andy in terms of it's been we had a challenging situation in January when Tottenham had made the bid, and how he's handled himself, and you can put him back into a situation like this, and there's never a drop in what he does. But those type of players are priceless.
Yeah, he loves the club. And he loves to play in front of these fans. These fans were, again, amazing, by the way. 3 days after, they were so disappointed, like us. They had to go again on a Friday evening over here. I don't know if they were all the same, but there were definitely more, because in FA Cup you have even more away fans. So Robbo has, in the 1.5 year that I'm here, he has given his everything for the club, and I think the fans will tell me that's not only 1.5 year. He did this for all the years that he's been here, and every time I need him or the club needs him, he tries to give his best, and that's again what he did tonight. Not only scoring and having an assist, but I think he defended well, calm, with a lot of composure on the ball. And that's crucial, because if you play against a team where the fullbacks are constantly open, you need in those positions players who are making the right decisions, and that's what Dom and Robbo definitely did tonight.
Can I just ask you how you thought Rio did in the start?
Good. I think it's special if you're 17 years old and you play in a Premier League match. I know it's an FA Cup match, but 2 Premier League sides playing against each other. If you then are able already to impact it with some very good 1v1 situations, that's also what makes him special, because there are not many players in the modern football that can take 1v1s on, and that's something he can. He also, in my opinion, did better than 3 days ago, because he kept the ball more. 3 days ago he lost it a few times as well. So 3 days ago he also had his impact with his actions. Today he had it as well, but was even better in moments where he had to keep the ball. Nice game, because you face 5 defenders. So for a winger, you only have to go to one of the 3 centre backs. So defensively, you don't have to do as much when you face 4 defenders. So it was also a nice moment for him to use all his energy for the attacking part and not have.
Amber, first start?
Well, I imagine a tough one to take, just your assessment of that performance.
Not a tough one to take, just that the better team won. They were really good tonight, and it was hard for us. So no, got no qualms or no excuses. I thought their level was excellent, and I thought they deserved to win. We tried to stay in it as long as possible. At half time, we're relatively happy, even though I felt like they were. Clearly, they're going to have a lot of the ball. We had to defend a lot of set pieces, but we were limiting them to maybe long-range shots and not too many efforts. The most frustrating thing for me tonight was the timing of the second goal and how we dealt with the kickoff and how we dealt with that was the killer. Because even at 1-0, we're still in the game, and anything can happen. Like we saw right at the end, we still get a goal. At that moment, obviously, the game was done, but we needed to remain in it longer. And that second one was really frustrating. That's the thing I'm most disappointed about tonight.
Is it a harder one to accept at all because you beat them on Tuesday, or is that not even a consideration?
No, I don't think so. I think you have a double header against Liverpool, anyone, like any team in Europe, and it's sad. So for us to take, to win one of those games, we have to be seeing that as a big positive. And we tried tonight, but I thought their level went up. I don't think really we dropped, but they made it very, very difficult.
Before you came in, we were just talking to Arne Slot about the similarities in both first half of Tuesday's game and today's. Did it feel like there were similarities for you?
It did, but I felt like they were better. I thought their counter pressing was better. I thought their intensity was better. I thought they won the ball back quicker. There was moments on Tuesday where we got through them with the ball. We weren't quite able to penetrate their last line, but we got through them a few times, and we thought, and that's what we planned, to try and change some of our positioning, but we thought we might be able to do that again if they press in the same way. But I thought their intensity tonight was I felt it was better. I felt like it was really hard for us to be able to get through them, around or behind them tonight.
One from me, Hee-Chan, somebody who's perhaps struggled for goals so far this season. Just a word on his performance tonight, and that goal seemed to mean quite a lot to him.
It's nice that he got an impact. Obviously, he's had a period of time out, and good, I suppose, that we got the last goal in the game as well anyway. Never mind whoever it was. I think that's important to show that we're still fighting and still trying in the game, so we certainly did that. But yeah, pleased for Channy. Been tough for, I suppose, any of us to find a way to score goals this season, but forwards always want to be on the score sheet, so good moment for him.
Hi Rob, you sort of touched on it there. I think sort of first half fairly sort of organised and disciplined defensively. It was about sort of breaking through the lines, wasn't it? Was that where you sort of found the difficulty and caused them problems?
Yeah, I think it was really tough. When we won it back, a few people took too many touches and allowed them to just go and nail us. And sometimes it wasn't our fault. It was just brilliant counter pressing from them as well. It was almost like they were swarming us, and their intensity I felt was very, very good. So a few turnovers where we could have been better, and then a lot where I thought that was, that's the level. What they showed there is the level, and a really elite level.
You've had a sort of incredibly congested fixture list February into early March as well. Maybe it's the way that Liverpool played tonight, but there's only sort of word to suggest that Wolves looked a little bit sort of leggy tonight, a little bit tight.
Maybe I'll have to look back at it as well. But I don't think it was a lack of effort or we were looking leggy. I think we missed Andre in midfield. I think he was a big miss for us. I think he's been brilliant, and he was really good on Tuesday night. So I think we missed that, but the energy I felt was there. The effort was there. We were pushing still at the end, and you could see that as well, that we're still pushing and pressing. But Liverpool are elite athletes, and they're able to bring one or two fresh bodies in like we did. But yeah, I just thought their overall performance, they took it up a notch, and it was probably one that we just couldn't quite live with tonight.
Just finally for me, you've spoken a lot about motivations for the players going forward. Obviously, they could mean a lot to yourself, to Wolves fans. What exactly do those players and yourself have to sort of fight for and play for?
Well, we've got 8 games, so we know how many games we've got left. The next game against Brentford, that has to be our cup final. That's it. And so everyone gets a few days now, because you're right, it has been a really intense period, and then all focus has been. We know how difficult Brentford away are. They've been brilliant this season. But yeah, we've got to go and find a way to win that game.
You mentioned missing Andre, Robert. How much did him being out also affect you? Because he has to play a role that maybe you don't quite get the best out of?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, he obviously played there at Old Trafford when Andre didn't play, and I think maybe he started the game at West Ham in that position as well when we won here against West Ham when we won here. So he's done it a couple of times, but yeah, he's probably not as suited to that